Welcome back. You are watching Signature Morning. Thank you so much, Joshua, for that interesting internet watch. So we're switching gears right now. Very recently, Asuu, that's the Academic Staff Union of Universities, gave the federal government a 21-day notice of strike. To discuss this further is the NAN's chairman in Enugu State. We're talking about Ms. Priska Okeke. Good to have
Comrade,
you.
actually.
Good morning.
Comrade Priska, okay.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
How do you do?
I'm all right. Thank you very much.
Now, before we get into the 21-day ultimatum, can you just share with us your experience as someone who is a student of an institution in Nigeria, your experience about ASU strike?
Okay, it's not just my experience. It's an experience for every student, every Nigerian student studying here in Nigeria. The ASU strike is not one thing we like because we want 4 years course to be 4 years course, 5 years to be 5 years. We don't want a situation where someone will gain admission and you're supposed to be studying a course for 5 years, and the next thing ASU goes on strike, sometimes 6 months, if the federal government is not listening to them. And this affects our academic calendar. You now see schools rushing things just to meet up. So the experience is not good, neither for me nor for any student in Nigeria.
So, okay, how does it affect the quality of education? Now, I know that it's possible, yes, it affects the students. So now, the quality of education in Nigeria, how does ASU strike affect the quality of education in Nigeria?
Okay. First of all, I would say if you're not happy with your job, you can't give it your all. That's one thing I know for sure. If you're not happy with your job, you can't give it your all. So these men, these women, they are being owed. These people have been clamoring for change or for certain things to be considered for so long, and they are not doing it. So they're obviously no longer happy with the fact that they are not being considered. So you see an angry woman, an angry man come to the classroom. How do you expect such person to relate to the students? They are very angry. They are not happy. Lecturers, you see the male ones, these things result to so many other things. If you're not being paid, you must cater for your family. Now you're leaving your house in an empty stomach in the morning to go to the classroom. How are you supposed to teach the students with happiness? Sometimes they transfer this aggression to just innocent students who have done nothing to them. So it's affecting them all around. Academically, it's affecting them in terms of their families and so on.
So
Okay.
I was just trying to think through. The last ASU strike, they were owed, and I don't know if they've cleared that salary of the last ASU strike. I think it was 2 years ago, so under the Buhari administration. Are you aware if they have cleared that salary? Because I understand that at some points, some lecturers claim that they have paid them. Some say they have not received. I don't know. Have they been paid?
That's the information we have. Some say they have, some say they have not. And now, this particular strike now is due to the government not considering their cry for over a decade. Something, their agreement, reconsideration and stuff for over a decade. So if some are saying they have paid them, some are saying they have not paid them, that means we don't even know what to believe anymore. My own as a student leader is these people should be listened to. The quality of education is paramount. You can't even overemphasize the quality of education that we want in Nigeria. We want quality education for everybody, both the poor and the rich.
Okay.
And this is affects our government-owned tertiary institutions. These government men, most of their children don't attend government-owned tertiary institutions. So maybe that is the reason why they don't care much about what is going on in that area, because they can take their children abroad, take their children, even those that are children that are studying here in Nigeria, they still take them to one of the best universities in Nigeria to study. Now, we, the daughters and sons of the common man, we are now being affected largely because our lecturers are not being paid, the non-academic staff are not being paid, and so many other things that are affecting the academic sector.
Okay, what, in your own way, in your own view or perception, what do you think are the economic implications of these strikes, both on students, parents, and the nation at large? And as a result, how do you also think it contributes to brain drain in Nigeria? So I think we should take it one at a time. What are the economic implications of these strikes on both parents, students, and the nation at large?
Okay, speaking economically, it's making people spend on things, maybe like times two, instead of just doing it once. Now, if you're in a class for a semester, you're supposed to buy books and cater for other things for the section that you're taking. But now, when they go on strike, you see students going home when not supposed. And generally, if there's no cash flow in the country, what are we doing? The families are hungry. These lecturers, their families are hungry. And some of them are our parents as well. I don't know if you understand. Yeah. So some of the lecturers have their students studying here. So it's affecting them largely, both their children and themselves as staff of Asuu. So now mentally, we can't say less or say more about the mental stress. Let's take it this way. You have something planned out for 4 years, and now something just comes in between and shortens that period of 4 years, taking away 6 months, 1 year, sometimes more. And you're just at home doing what? I've had this experience, like you want to, okay, should I take this skill while I wait for Asuu? But what if I register for this skill and they call off the strike? They'll just leave you confused, not knowing what to do as a student. Now as a parent, your children are back, you don't know what's next for them. Some will start considering, okay, can I be able to afford a private institution? I am tired of this whole strike of a thing. So you see, it works all round. It affects everybody.
Okay, so how do you also think it contributes to brain drain? You know, with students and lecturers, everybody fleeing to the abroad for both education and employment.
We're saying it now, the Japa syndrome is no longer a news. Everybody in Nigeria knows about the Japa syndrome. If I get an opportunity to leave Nigeria now, do you think I'll say no? Even you seated here, if you get an opportunity to leave like right now, are you going to stay back?
I possibly go.
I mean, some of us want the country to be better.
Good. So
Okay.
I'm possibly going to be staying
So
back.
that's why we are all here, trying to see how we can lend our voices to see if we can at least make the country better.
There's even a statistics to that effect.
Okay.
I think 3 years ago, they say like 5 out of 10 Nigerians, if they find the opportunity, that they would leave. But right now, it's 9
If not
out of 10. Out of 10 Nigerians who they see the opportunity, they would actually leave the country, and it's just so bad. I'm just wondering, from your perspective, as NAN's chairman in Enugu, is there a role you guys play in strikes like this?
Yes.
What roles you guys play?
Sometimes we in fact, most times we join Asuu. We join Asuu, joining them online with our voices, and also in strike. In fact, if it's getting too much, you see the student community saying they want to go for a protest. It's very dangerous. We sometimes want to protest to protect the interest of Asuu. Okay. To say we are tired of sitting at home, we are tired of staying at home. Please, federal government, listen to these people, listen to our people that take care of us in our various institutions, and get us back to school. Because without the students, there won't be Asuu, and without Asuu, there won't be students.
Well, would your protest go to Asuu to just take it easy, at least for the time being?
The protest goes to both angles. We are saying federal government, listen to them, and we are saying Asuu, please also, if the demands are too much, I think people should consider taking it one at a time.
Okay.
Yes, if the federal government can meet half of your demand for now, please give them a little more time. Allow us to come back to school, to continue our studies, while you continue your engagement with federal government to now see how they can do better.
Okay, is there because since the time I could remember, ASU strike has always been, it's been recurring year after year, months after months. Is there a sort of coping mechanism that you think the student or NANS has developed to help, the students and also the lecturers? Is there like a coping mechanism of any sort?
We can do so much when it comes to ASU. ASU is an organization, is a body that has leadership, and when people are not comfortable, they agitate. So I think this is a case of an organization trying to see how they can agitate for what is right for them. Okay, ASU, I don't believe they just wake up one day and decide to go on strike. I believe they've been engaging, they've been trying to get attention, reaching out to the federal government, and maybe the federal government is not listening to them. Then they will not come out publicly to say, okay, since it's this way, this is now going to be our decision for now.
No, I'm saying, is there any coping mechanism that students, not lecturers, that students have devised to, absorb the strikes?
We resort to more research online, trying to study online, trying to follow up. But the school calendar is the school calendar. You can't be called a graduate if you've not finished it. And if anything disturbs the school calendar, you have to start over again from where you stopped. So you might have all the knowledge you have that you've acquired from online, taking lectures online from other schools. So I'm even registering for online schools that yes, but you are in this school, you need this certificate as well. You have to follow the curriculum. So whenever the strike is over, you will come back to school and continue from wherever you stopped. So yes, we are trying to study online. We're buying books while we are home during the strike. We'll be reading. Then some schools are also pulling out from the ASU. Like there are some schools who are no longer members of ASU.
Why do you think they are pulling out?
So many reasons. Some schools are now feel like, okay, we can raise funds and pay salaries, take care of the school environment, take care of our students on our own.
And these funds, where does it come from? Do they raise it from the students?
That's where you see cases like increment in school fees.
Well, I also sometimes even sanction these schools. There's always a problem that happens when some institution come and announce that we're not joining the strike. You see ASU, become mad, and sometimes they even go to the school to even shut the school down. So sometimes there's this chaos that comes with
internal stuff. It happens everywhere.
So how does NANS react to such kinds of things? Do you people still go to school? Since you say you are joining ASU most of the time, when things like that happen for an institution, say for instance a UNN, what does NAN do?
If your school is pulling out from ASU, the students will be happy to go to school. While we go to school, we'll continue to support what they are fighting for and see how other schools who are joining the ASU strike can still get what they want and possibly call off the strike.
Oh, wow. That's a good one. I was thinking you stay through and true. If you're supporting ASU, you are sticking to ASU.
We are supporting them in our own way.
Okay.
Yes, supporting them in the sense that, okay, we'll do all we can to make sure that we show solidarity to our students who are in those schools that are still with us. So,
okay.
Yes.
So what long-term strategies could be implemented to ensure stability in the Nigeria educational system?
We're still drafting. Let me just so to say, yes, they're still drafting. And this ASU body, ASU has helped a lot. Yes, because this is a body that ensures that federal government takes care of what needs to be taken care of when it comes to our tertiary institutions. So if we say we're no longer with ASU, it will still boil down to students and families. Schools now taking care of all these problems themselves. you have to check how many students do we have, what is the school fees, how do we augment, and now the case of hike in school fees will be high. That's what I think will
So
happen.
do you think schools themselves can run themselves so much so that, you know, this ASU thing would just be dismantled once and for all? Do you think schools can run themselves, raise funds, you know, pay their lecturers and forget about whatever it is that comes from the government?
I don't think so.
Why so?
Because this is a government-owned institution, and governments have what these schools are bringing to the table as well. So they should take care of their establishment.
Okay, so in your opinion, if this, I'll call it menace, called strike, continues and government not hidden, what do you think the future holds for higher education in Nigeria if the strike still continues?
It's obvious. Very soon, we'll have our young students write WAEC and JAMB, and you won't see them choosing any government-owned schools anymore, because they don't know what the future holds for them if they choose these schools. You see parents struggling very hard to send their children to private-owned tertiary institutions just to make sure they get the best for them. So if these things continue, I believe that the population of the government-owned tertiary institution will begin to drop, while people resort to private-owned tertiary institutions, just like our government-owned nursery and primary schools now. You go to most of these government-owned nursery and primary schools, you see just maybe 2 or 3 persons in a class. I'm very sure of that. I've seen schools like that. So students, we know there's hardship, but still parents are trying very hard to say, okay, I can take my child to a private-owned primary school, at least to start with that. So it will start dropping. When I was growing up, our primary schools, government-owned primary schools, we had larger numbers than the private schools because it wasn't this bad then. So now the system has gotten so bad, nobody even wants to think of it.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Seeing that the situation has completely dilapidated to this situation, you hear a child being advised to go to school and the child is like, why am I going to school? At the end of the day, I spent 10 years for a course of 4 years, and the money I'm supposed to make, you know, the end result that they think is to go to school is to make money. What's your advice to that child who thinks that it's a shattered hope to go to school and undergo the continuous strike? What's your advice to that child?
I believe it won't remain like this forever. Yes, I believe tomorrow holds better for us. And I believe so much in our state leadership now. For instance, Enugu State, the governor is working on the smart green schools, which will bring back the basic education of our dream. So if other states can take this as well, start working on it from the schools, I think the education dream will be brought back to life. And like they say, education is not scam. Whatever you do, one day you're going to see that yes, I am happy I went to school at the end of the day, because you apply these things in whatever you're doing. Even if, let's say, I don't know how to put it, but at the end of the day, if you say you're going into business, you still need that knowledge to run your business. A business that is run by someone who is not educated is not going to be the same as one who is educated, who has gone to school and gotten the certificate and knows what they are doing. Mm-hmm. So I believe our people are not taking it that far. Like me, I am happy I went to school, and I would advise every growing child to try as much as possible to acquire the higher education.
During the last bad governance protest, I understand that you chaired a group. You're the chairman of NANS here in Enugu, but you guys pulled out of that protest.
Yeah.
Why did you pull out? Many people also said that part of the reasons why the thing wasn't even successful in Enugu was because of that move that you guys made.
Which is true.
But I wanted to find out, why did you pull out of the End Bad Governance protest? Are you guys having fun?
With the governance?
Is food cheap? Are you guys not suffering hunger? So why did you guys pull out?
Okay, we're not the only ones that pulled out, but I believe NANS consulted widely. Yes. Before then, we had a town hall meeting where we had over 600 student leaders from across all the tertiary institutions in Enugu State, both government-owned and private-owned tertiary institutions. So we consulted widely. We spoke to our student leaders. We checked here and there. That's the truth. We also discussed the End SARS.
2020
Yes,
End SARS,
yes, and
campaign.
how it turned out. I always tell people, when you're coming out for protest, it's only you that knows what is in your mind. You can't dictate what is in the next person's mind. You might have your group who are coming out for this protest with good intention. What is the intention? March peacefully to so and so area, demonstrate and say end governance. What about those people who are coming to steal and to harm people? If it's a peaceful protest, why do people at the end of the day start stealing people's phones? The same person you're protesting peacefully with, but you're stealing their phones, they are harming people, people are being shot, properties destroyed. So at the end of the day, our students most times suffer these things because we are the most vulnerable. We are the most energetic. When we out, you know we are out. So when we come out like this, these people with bad intention, when they start with their bad motives, you will see that the students are being harmed the more.
So the case of not coming out is the case of getting scared that another
No,
person,
no.
the protest will be hijacked. It's not like...
First of all, we're not scared, and we also consider the protest being hijacked. Secondly, some schools were writing exams. Asuu was writing exams, they just concluded, Peaceland, and so many other schools. They were writing exams that period. Thirdly, I know we can do dialogue.
Okay.
Yes.
So far, has that dialogue happened? Because
Yes.
people are saying it's as if you people went and collected monies and then stayed back, or people gathered together,
So
collected
NANS
something.
dialogue with
So
federal government.
has that happened? Is this true that you guys collected money in order for you not to come out to protest?
I see these things and I just laugh. Collect money not to come out. I always tell people, when students we don't need publicity to protest. You see, NANS is known for what it is. Students don't need help from any other group or any other organization to come out and demonstrate. If we feel affected by anything and we feel like, okay, we can't take this anymore, you will see us out, and the number is massive. So this is not a case of collecting money. This is a case of we trying to protect the lives and properties of our students. Also, not wanting something that would, like we were talking about the curriculum, if those schools had not written those exams this period, we don't know when next. That means they'll have to wait till after the protest before they can start making arrangements when they are supposed to be doing other things. And again, we've been discussing with the government.
Okay.
We've been able to tender our concerns, and they are looking into it seriously. For instance, the palliative, if you watch the town hall meeting that was hosted by the state government some months earlier this year, I'm not a leader that keeps quiet. I'm not a leader that is easily intimidated. You can't intimidate me. So when I stood up to talk, if you notice at some point I was being told I'm taking someone else's time, but I will not stop until I finish what I want to say, because we don't know when we'll get that opportunity again. So I finished it, and His Excellency also proved to us that he's a governor that listens, because immediately after that town hall, after some time, schools started receiving this palliative that they shared to students. which some of them are, the sharing is still ongoing. Okay, yeah, depending on the activities. Because some schools were on break when they brought it, so they had to keep and wait for the semester to start. So,
All right. So this 21 days.
Sorry, let me just ask something in line. What's the palliative? Is it like rice?
Yes.
Or is it grains or money?
is rice.
Okay.
So these 21 days ultimatum that's been given to the government, how are you guys reacting to it? Like, what are you guys going to do about this 21 days that have been given to the government about this notification for strike?
Okay. I believe that the NAS National is not sleeping as well. So,
You guys haven't met about it? You guys haven't talked about it?
No, we have a meeting tomorrow afternoon
Okay.
concerning it. So, but before the meeting, I also think the national body has a meeting today, which after their own national meeting, then there will be an elaborate meeting to discuss and see where do we come in, how do we lend our voices, what is going to happen, what will be the fate of our students if this is allowed to go on, and that's...
Okay. I understand that you are an outgoing now because there's a new person elect.
Yes, yes.
Can you tell us how that happened in terms of the voting process, how he emerged, and people who are excited and some who are not excited that the guy has emerged?
Okay. In state election, in fact, in NANS election, the senators, that's the voters, are SUG presidents. So in Enugu, we have around 14 voting SUG presidents who would come for the NANS state convention. They already before then must have met their candidates. You campaign, you go to schools, you tell them why you want to be the NANS chairman, why you want to represent them, and it was very peaceful. The election process was very peaceful, very transparent, and the young man emerged.
So are the nuns, the candidates, are they also SUG presidents, or just any student can contest?
Any student
can contest?
who is above second year in any government-owned tertiary institution can contest.
Okay,
Once it's not if it's your first degree,
yeah,
or if it's your second degree, or maybe your master's, then once it's verified that you're a student of any school, any government-owned tertiary institution,
okay,
you can contest.
It has to be a government-owned tertiary
Yes.
institution. Okay, so private student union governments are not involved in the voting
In Enugu, we
process.
carry everybody along, both private and government-owned. When I spoke about my town hall, I just told you that both private schools, Peaceland, Usisotec, Coal City,
But are they
Godfrey
eligible
Okoye.
to be candidates?
No, they are not, because NANS handles government-owned tertiary institutions. We can't tell someone what to do with their private business.
Okay.
Yes, private-owned tertiary institutions is someone's private business.
So how do they contribute to the voting process?
Nomination.
I mean the private schools, how do they contribute to the voting of who is a NANS chairman or NANS secretary? Or
You can campaign for someone you feel is best fit for the job.
Okay, you
But
can
you-
campaign for
Yes,
the private.
yeah, we have
you can't
COSPEN.
vote.
Yes, we have COSPEN, Council of SUG Presidents. So both private SUG presidents are members of this COSPEN. You know you are not voting, but you can tell your friend who has the voting power, I think this person is good enough to be the NANS chairman.
Okay.
Why
do they
don't
have
we?
voters card as well?
They don't have, but an SUG president is not one that hides.
Okay.
So, in as much as the Constitution says, in the absence of the SUG president, any member of the executive of any student union government can vote. But we all know the SUG president of Godfrey Okoye, we all know the SUG president of IMTA, Suit, and the rest of them. So, it's not, you don't need voters card. We know you, we know your office.
Priska, Comrade Priska Okeke, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
I truly appreciate it. At least we're able to grab you, now that you're still the chairman,
Yeah.
to the studio. Maybe the next time we're going to be inviting somebody from NANS, it's going to be somebody else. But thank God that we were able to get
Yes,
you. But how has
definitely.
been your administration? You know, good. We just in just 30 seconds because we don't have time anymore.
Okay, leading the student community is not easy. It has never been easy, and it will never will be easy, because it has a lot. It's draining. Some of these schools are in rural areas. They're in Oji River, Iwolo. Some of the schools are in Ihamofo, Emene. So we try as much as possible to see how we can reach out to all of them. If there's an emergency, we rush to these schools and see what is going on there. Just like what happened in College of Health, Oji River, that the Fulani herdsmen attacked the school and made away with some students. God be blessed, the student has been released.
They've been released?
Yes, they
Wow.
have. I confirmed it.
You confirmed it? Wow.
Yes, I had to visit the families of the kidnapped students.
Wow.
Yes, I did. I did with the newly elected NAS chairman and my director of internal security.
Wow.
So we visited their families, we confirmed they've been released, and we thank the security agencies for the good work they did. And we thank the student community also for being calm, because it was going to be a chaos.
Wow.
Because the classmates of these girls, they wanted to agitate, but we bless God that at the end of the day, it happened. So it's not easy at all. It's not like this leadership that maybe the president will say, I will address the country by 7 in the evening when there's a problem. No, in student leadership, you address issues as they come. So you may not even have time for yourself. If you have other programs, once it's student related, you have to do away with them and face this one. It's a huge task.
Wow. Thank you so much, Comrade Priska, for your time and your insights on today's program. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you. Let me also use this opportunity to say congratulations to my children. Let me put it that way. Congratulations to the newly elected NAS chairman, Ali Kajetan Chinenye, and his ESCOs. I wish them the very best. It's not going to be easy, like I said, but I know his for the SUG presidents to have entrusted him to do the job, I know he will deliver, and I pray his reign will be successful.
All right. We're hoping to actually host him here maybe sometime
very
later.
soon.
No,
Please, very soon.
All right. Thank you so much for being part of the program. We're switching gears right now for some financial report. Just 2 minutes.